Da-da-da. Oh, to be able to go through life about 6 inches taller. Wouldn't that be great? I tend to be a wanderer when I talk, and whenever I have to stand on that makes. If you see me fall, just pick me right back up. And I'm a bit like, remember those little Weeble things when you were. I'm aging myself now, but these are little toys that, yeah, okay. This is no reflection to how long I'm going to speak. My congregation knows that. If I pull out one page, they used to get excited, like, woo, we're going to be eating in 10 minutes. But they've come to understand that if I pull out one page, it could be 2 hours. I could pull out 20 pages, and it could be 10 minutes. This really means absolutely nothing at all. So I just put that right out there ahead of time there. Thank you for having me today. I've been here before as part of OWL, and I've taught OWL and participated in OWL. All my kids have been in OWL at different times. My two oldest, I have 2 daughters who are now in that wonderful age we call almost launched. Is that what we call it? They've completed college. Everybody go, woo! But not quite out of the house. You know what I mean? Like they're kind of, they got the real job, but yeah, one of them got engaged. Woo, okay. But they're kind of that in between. It's very exciting, and one of them I think is going to go to the Peace Corps. Woo, that's exciting, cool. So there all this exciting stuff, so I'm all excited about that. And then I have I'm not sure what we were thinking, but then I have a 15-and-a-half-year-old son who's in high school. Go Bears. Come on, go Bears. It's Lawrence Central. I know nobody here is probably Lawrence Central, but for him, we'll go over. And he happens to be like 6'2" and giant, and so that's why I'm enjoying my extra 6 inches today here like this. It feels good. But anyway, thank you for having me. They've all been here and been part of OWL, and it's just great to be here and just to be a part and to have live music. My heart is just, I could just leave right now and be blessed forever. My church, we don't have that. They have to put up with me. I'm not a musician. I basically get stuff off the internet. I make them sing all the time. It's not good. So if they heard this, they probably all would just be over here, and I'd have nobody every Sunday. So thank you. And Into the Unknown, I had tears. Thank you. I know it's not cool to like Frozen, and I try to be a cool person. Frozen 2, thank you for that. Thank you for that clarification. I love Frozen 2 just as much as Frozen 1. It was just as good. A lot of times sequels aren't as good, but that one is just as good. But Into the Unknown, beautiful. And that is exactly what I want to talk to you today about, Into the Unknown. And I really could just, Into the Unknown. That's it. You captured it perfectly. I just want us to I like to think of summertime as a time to think about and talk about things that aren't too deep and heavy, a time to kind of refresh my spirit and my soul. And that's the kind of little message I want to bring to you today. I don't want you to think too deeply, but I want you to think profound but not deep. Can you do it? I can. Can you do it? Yeah, we can do it. So I just want you to relax. I know some of you are going to stay and work after and stuff, so you don't want to. I don't want you to get too tired. I want you to be able to pull some weeds after this, okay? So you feeling okay? Okay, good. I want to share with you something that I'm coming slowly to understand. There is something to be gained, or at least I am coming to believe, and it may not be true for y'all, but I'm just going to ask you to hold this and see if it maybe works for you as well. I am coming to believe that things that I have, for lack of a better word, poo-pooed. Do you know what I mean when I say poo-pooed? Like, oh, that's just silly. That's poo. Well, I'm not going to be a part of that. That's ridiculous. I don't like that. Things that I have a reaction like that to might be things that I need to look into just a little bit. Now, I'm not talking about heavy stuff, okay? This is not about your biggest fears and traumas and things. I'm not going there, so don't go there. I'm talking about things you poo-pooed. That's a whole different level. You get what I'm saying here? Things you poo-pooed, okay? Like for a long time, I poo-pooed Monster Jam, okay? Do you know what I'm talking about when I talk about Monster Jam? I'm like, Monster Jam? What is Monster Jam? And then my kids got all about Monster Jam. So, oh, no, Monster Jam, I can't do it. And man, I am the biggest Monster Jam fan. I have been there 9 years in a row, and I now drive a monster truck, okay? So, the universe all along has been bringing me this message that, Mills, whatever you poo-poo, there might be something there for you to ponder, okay, or to learn. And I do find, seriously though, when I start to examine something that I'm like, there usually is something there that I need to learn from, okay? Now, I could do probably a 20-week series on Monster Jam. So if you ever want to have me back, there's your series right there. Wow, I hadn't really thought about that. Oh, Oak Landing, get ready. Oh, maybe I should write that down because I'm getting older. But I'm sure it'll come back to me. But anyway, I really want us to think about what it might be like. Think about something in your head like, oh, I would never examine that or think about that or do that or blah, blah, blah. That's just silly. But you might want to ponder that, and that's what I want us to spend a few moments thinking about today. And I'm going to share with you my recent experience with a situation like that and see then if it might not apply to your situations like that. Specifically, I'm going to share with you one of my major poo-poos and one of my yuckies that's been a part of my life forever, okay? And that is my disdain for nature, okay? I am not a nature girl, and I brought pictures to prove it. So we'll start with my first picture here. There is me. I am not a fan of nature. I am glad it exists. I know people like it, and I'm all for you liking it. Go, be in it, enjoy it. I will donate to causes to save it, or whatever, because I get it, okay? And I know we're part of that interconnected webness, okay? And I'll support that too, but please, don't make me go enjoy it, because I'm not going to enjoy it. There are bugs, there's dirt. You get sweaty and stuff. I sweat at the gym. I don't sweat in nature, because then it is just not for me, for a lot of reasons. When I was a kid, my parents made me go camping in a tent that leaked and reeked is what I like to say. I mean, it leaked, and you know that old canvas smell? Oh my gosh, that was terrible. I'm older than most of you, but it was a horrible smell. Anyway, I do not like nature. I've never liked nature. I don't like it, but I do intrinsically believe that we probably should, have some love of nature. So if we'll go to our next slide here. This is what I have done to my children. This is when they were younger. I do believe that we should have some connection to nature. So this is me forcing my children to enjoy nature. You can tell I probably was not successful. This was again in Broad Ripple actually years ago, but every summer I'm like, I hate nature, children, but you're not going to hate it. Get out there and enjoy it. That's what I used to do to them, as you see how it works beautifully when we lead by example in such a glorious way. But anyway, I just simply share that with you because this is something I've always poo-pooed. And, nature's nice out here. You all enjoy it. I support your enjoyment of it, but don't make me enjoy it. All right? Flash forward now many years ahead, and I got an opportunity. My wife gets to travel for her work, and I don't usually go with her because, I have this other job at the school, and they don't like me to, miss too many days. But, we're getting older. She's going to retire. I might want to retire. So I'm like, oh, she got a chance to go to Puerto Rico. Woo! Puerto Rico's warm and sunny and nice. At least I've heard it's that. And she invited me to go. I'm like, woo! Everybody say, woo! I'm like, yeah, get my swimsuit out. And where she works, they stay in nice places, okay? And it's really awesome. Like, it's on the beach and a pool. Everybody say beach and pool. I was not raised in a way or a fashion where we could stay somewhere that had a beach and a pool, if you get my drift there, okay? You had to pick one or the other. And actually, I was raised in a way where we never stayed in a hotel. So now, okay. But anyway, so I was all excited. We're going to Puerto Rico, and I'm going to get to stay at a place that has a beach and a pool. And oh my, might have been me. Oh, that was nature, Mother Nature. She does not like when I talk this way, I'm pretty sure. Sorry, sister. But anyway, so I'm all excited, and we're heading over there, and my wife says to me, you know what we got to do when we're over there? I go, what do we got to do? Lay on the beach, eat seafood. I don't know. What do you do? Get a massage. I don't know. What all great things are we going to do? Why don't we hike in the rainforest? I'm like, what? Hike in the rainforest? We've been married 20-some years. You want me to hike in the rainforest? Lady, what you talking about? Oh my goodness, hike in the rainforest? I poo-poo nature, you know that. I support you, dear. I will drive you to the rainforest. I will gladly let you out, and I'll come pick you up. You let me know when I'm supposed to be there, and I will go find a place to sit at a tiki bar, and then I will pick you up. But you know what, as the universe will do sometimes, it became clear to me, Mills, I talk to myself. I hope that's not a sign of, but it did occur to me, Mills, when are you ever going to get a chance to say you went to a rainforest? You live in Indiana, okay? You have never had a chance to really get out of the United States. So when are you going to get a chance to say you get to go to the rainforest? And I began to feel kind of that, to quote my evangelical background, convicted, okay? That I should at least see the rainforest, okay? And she convinced me, and I began to get excited about this notion that I could hike. And this is how I begin to reframe this in my head, that I am going to take a deep breath, and I am going to experience the other, nature, okay? Something I don't like, but I probably should, or I hate to should, that's a negative word. I probably ought to, that's a little better. I probably might find value in embracing something, or I might learn something from something other than me. And I might find out I really don't like nature, and it is horrible. Okay, if nothing else, I can remind the family from now to eternity, I tried nature and it does really stink, okay? If nothing else, I can do that. And so it was with that kind of attitude that I began to prepare and to get ready for my hike in the rainforest in Puerto Rico. And I got all prepped and ready and made it to Puerto Rico. And you see, there I am. And you got to really kind of know me. But first of all, let me say I love the Minion t-shirt, and I love the t-shirt that's over here that says, assume I'm always right. Or assume I'm never wrong. Yeah, there, I love that. I am the t-shirt queen of the universe. My school knows this. My church knows this. So I love a good t-shirt. But this says, down with patriarchy, save the planet. I thought that was appropriate for hiking the rainforest. Don't you think so? See, I can find the right t-shirt for everything. So I got t-shirt, I got hiking boots or shoes, special. I'm a great shopper, as you might have imagined. More a shopper than a hiker, but I'm all set and ready to go, prepared, all ready to go. And then we had to get the perfect ride for the rainforest. I couldn't just arrive at the rainforest in any old way. Woo! The wife picked me up in the convertible Mustang. If I'm going to go hiking in nature, I want to go looking good, right? I don't know, it just so happened she got an upgrade. I don't know what happened, but anyway, we got this wonderful car. And so I'm feeling comfortable, and we get to the rainforest and all that. Okay, you can like it. Okay. So I'm going to share with you now, this kind of take us to a new level, but this is what happened to me and what I learned from embracing the other. I am not putting this out here as this is what you will learn if you embrace the other, but I'm going to share with you my experience of it and invite you to think about your others that the universe might be bringing your way over and over again, and think that maybe, just perhaps, that you might benefit or learn from that other as well. This was and a word of warning, because this was the first thing we saw at the parking lot. Again, kind of confirming, you probably can't exactly see it, but this was where she parked the car. There was this sign that said, warning, there are Indian, I think it was called, let's see, I wrote it down here somewhere because this is what's on my notes. Danger, small Indian mongoose. They are the largest carrier of rabies. If you see one, don't touch it. No kidding. If I see one, I'm running back to the resort 20 miles away. I mean, my goodness sakes, this is why I don't like nature. It's probably why we're not supposed to be here, people. I couldn't believe she laughed. Parked right in front of that sign, like, oh my gosh, you want me to hike into that? And there's these mongooses running around with rabies, and they're probably going to bite me, and don't you have to get like 35 shots in the stomach when you have rabies? Or I don't know, it's something horrible. I remember my kids, as a kid, I don't know, it all went, see, I'm going to take a deep breath now. See, I go right back there. It's real for me. So, okay, you may have some fear as you start to, that's what I learned in this moment. I may have a little fear, and I may put a wall up to embracing the other or to learning from the other. That is normal, at least for me. That's a little normal, and that's okay. Just acknowledge, I do have a little fear about learning from the other, and that's okay. All right? Doesn't mean I have to stop, but I can acknowledge I have a little fear. So that's number one. You may have a little fear, and a little fear is okay. Now, if you have a fear like, oh my God, I'm going to die, then probably turn around. This is not the kind of other I'm talking about, okay? But if you have a fear like, okay, the odds of me really meeting this Indian mongoose are probably not really that great, okay? So I probably could just go on. You get the difference? So in facing the other, you may experience a sense of fear, a little bit of fear. and that's okay. Acknowledge that. I do have a little fear, and I'm going to honor that fear, and I'm going to hold on to it because it might prove useful, but I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to hold it with me tight, and I'm going to move on. So I don't know what your other is and what you need to face, but go ahead. Don't let that fear stop you in this arena. Pick it up, hold it tight, breathe over it, pray over it, whatever it is your thing you do, but hold it and move forward and move on. So we moved on. We'll go to our next slide here. This is the first thing that came to me as I picked up my fear and began to move on. The first thing, I think because I was somewhere I'm never at, like I'm never in nature really that much. When you're in somewhere that's other, at least for me, I began to notice small things, small little details. Now, I could bore you with 15 billion pictures, okay? I've kept noticing little flowers, little plants, stuff I would have never noticed before. But I think it was maybe it was because I was looking for the Indian mongoose. It could have been. But I think it was because I was in such a foreign atmosphere to me. It was like, oh my gosh, there's little flowers here. They were teeny tiny, but they were so stark, and they were really kind of pretty. And I don't usually think nature's that pretty. And they really were pretty. And I began taking pictures. And before I knew it, I felt myself kind of be like, wow, it's not so bad. This is kind of nice. And I think that is something I've learned in embracing the other, at least for me to be learned from the other. I think when you put yourself in a circumstance you're not used to sometimes, you see things that you've never seen before. And that's what I was experiencing in this. All these little details I was noticing. And I think that can be true for you and me in other situations as well. You begin to see things differently because you're in a new situation that you haven't been in before. So think about that. Hold the fears and start to see those little details. We can go to our next one. It's okay. This sometimes stops me. It's okay. Even if you're seeking, okay, I'm going to go into this other situation. I'm going to try to learn from it. Here I go. Wah, 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 wah. Don't be mad at yourself for trying to hold on to something familiar, okay? It's okay in the midst of that to look for something familiar. For a long time I said, no, I'm out here, I'm trying something new. Get away from me, I'm trying something new. No. I think what I've learned to embrace is even in the midst of learning from the other, it's okay to hold on to something familiar. And one of the most beautiful gifts of the hike was, while we were hiking, there was a dog. I love dogs. They're not nature. My dog is like, I have way too many of them. But anyway, they're all fabulous. And this person had a dog. I'm like, you should have seen me run to this dog. I'm like, oh, I almost forgot to ask, can I pet your dog? Can I pet your dog? Oh, please let me touch your dog. I'm in nature, and that would make me feel so good if I could touch your dog. And I petted the dog, and my heart rate went down, and I was all good. So don't be afraid. You're not messing up if you find a familiar touchstone when you're out there. It's okay. Don't be downing on yourself. It's all right. It's good. Your heart rate goes down, and then you can go on. All right, next one. Oh, well, look what even I got to say, look what I would have missed if I had not gone to where I poo-pooed. You know what I mean? It really was beautiful. I can't deny it, all right? It was beautiful. And, okay, sadly this is recorded so my family can hold it, but this nature was beautiful. I'm not saying all nature is beautiful, but this nature was beautiful. Everything was green, but the odd thing I noticed about it, I had no idea there were that many shades of green. It was beautiful green. I thought green, it's not even my favorite color. But man, there were all these shades of green. It was mind-boggling, okay? It was beautiful. As you encounter the other, who knows what beauty you might find? I don't know. It might be beauty. I don't know. But that is something I'm learning. As I encounter the other, there may be beauty there as well. We can go on. There's beauty, but there's also danger. Remember, nature. And I will tell you this, there was a little danger. I fell on the hike. I fell. I face planted. Bam! Whoosh! And it was not pretty. Luckily, I'm a runner, so I did this face plant. And I do a lot of core because core helps you in your running. I am an excellent planker. Thank goodness for that. And so I face planted, but caught myself and did this amazing plank. And I just kind of held it there for a while to see if I broke anything, because I'm also an old person, okay? And for some reason, as an old person, I break things, I'm pretty sure. And so I sat there in my plank for a while and pretended I got to the Wi-Fi. Oh, I'm just working on my core, because she'd been ahead of me. I didn't want her to know that I had literally just fallen on my face. All right, yeah, I'm just coring, but bottom line is this. As you face the other, you may have incidents of danger. You may, quote unquote, fall. You may, I don't know what might happen. It may not go the way you planned or this or that. But I do know this. I got back up. I was all right. And I kept moving. And I want you to hear that. As you embrace the other, as you attempt to learn from the other, there may be times you fall down, but you get back up. Does anybody remember the Chumbawamba? Oh, I get knocked down, but I get up again. No, you're never going to keep me down. Okay, I digress. But I did see them in concert years ago, but anyway. But yeah, if you get knocked down or something happens, get back up and see if you can go on a little farther, okay? Just check it out. I'm glad I paused and didn't just go, whoa, I fell on my face, I'm out of nature. Because I might have missed that beauty, because I fell way before the beautiful shot, okay? Honestly, I fell like literally 5 minutes into the hike because I'm a weenie, all right? So think about that. You may experience some danger. It's quite possible, but you can keep moving. You can. If you're not hurt, you can keep moving. It's possible. All right, let's go to our next one. Wait, there aren't too many more, I promise you. I'll wrap it up. Oh, I had to put this over. I think we got to make room for, oh my goodness, we got to make room for the unexplained. And I'm not even going to, can you tell what this is? I found somebody's underpants on the hike. I don't know why they were there. I don't want to know why they were there, but you know what? Sometimes when you face the unknown, maybe you get a laugh or two, or like, I put it as this, there's mystery in the unknown, okay? That's what I learned. There's mystery, and I'm going to leave it a mystery there, and we're going to but I had to share that with you, because we got the biggest laugh, like, oh, I don't know. We told ourselves all kinds of stories about that, but maybe as you face the unknown, you do get a chuckle, because, man, that's stuff that okay, only in nature do people leave their underpants, I guess. Well, that's not true, but anyway, I digress on that, too. All right, we'll go on to the next one. We don't need to leave the underpants up there. When's the last time you saw underpants on a slide at your worship service? Okay, all right, there you go, there's your verse. And I'm going to leave you with this, and this was what I would call probably worth it in every sense for me. And this was a very important part for me, and what I carried back, I think probably why the universe wanted me to do the hike. Not for the underpants, but for this. I do enjoy that, but unexpected meaningful moments is what I called this. And this may be what you find as you face the unknown, or as you walk into the unknown, as you stand to learn something from the unknown or the other, the thing you poo-pooed. As we were hiking, it began to rain. Well, it's a rainforest, so yeah, okay. It began to rain, and the wife said, "Do you want to keep going?" And I go, "Yeah, we'll keep going. I always keep going. I'm a Mills. We keep going in the rain. We keep going. We always keep going." And I kept going, and I kept going. And as we kept going, as it started then to really rain, and I looked over, and there was a shelter. Why is there a shelter? But it's a national park or whatever. And I was going to keep going, and she said, "Do you want to just stop in the shelter?" And something in me broke, and just telling you right now, it breaks in me again. I got off the path, and I went to the shelter. Now, you're getting this was nothing about the rain or the shelter, right? But I'm so glad I went, because I think the universe was telling me, yo, Mills, all through your life, all through your journey, there have been shelters. Sometimes you take them, sometimes you don't. But the universe is always providing. You can get off the path and get in them, or not, but they're there. And there in the middle of nature, I broke down and felt like I was getting something healed inside of me. What is that about? I did not expect healing to happen in nature. I mean, I've heard people say something. I thought I totally poo-pooed that. But man, right there in that moment, I think that was part of why the universe kept bugging me about it. On that path, when I finally just said, okay, I'm not going to keep pushing on. I'm going to go in this shelter. In that moment, my heart opened up. And it was like I could clearly almost see all the times the universe, or whatever you want to call it, had provided shelter to me. And I began to give thanks for the times I had taken the shelter, and for the people and places that provided the shelter. I began to shed tears of sadness for the times I had pushed through and not taken the shelter, you know? And it was just literally this flash of like about 10 minutes that I know. You know you have those moments. Shake your head, even if you don't, but just so I feel good. Sometimes it is really just about the person up here. I'm not going to lie to you. It's true. You know it. You all say it. It's true. I say it about people too. But yeah, it's going to stay with me forever because something healed inside of me in that moment. And I'm not saying I ain't got a lot of other junk that needs healed. But in that moment, I understood something. And that's my message to you. And I'm going to leave it there. When you look at, and I don't know what's going to happen as you face the other, but for me, that's what we stand to learn when we look at the other. It opens us up in a new way. I think it's Marianne Williams there. I don't know if it's her original, but a miracle is just a change of perspective or perception. Like it's seeing something in a new way, you know? And I got my miracle because I got outside of myself and went and looked at something I usually poo-pooed. I saw something a little differently. And I think that's what we stand to learn when we look at the other. And that's what I'll challenge me to keep doing because I know this will come as a shock and a surprise, but there are other things that I poo-poo that I don't like so much, okay? And I think we stand to learn some things when we look at those. You know, as simple as they may be, there might be some things that if we step outside ourselves and take a look at those, we might find that healing that we need or that other perspective that we so need. It can be so powerful. So thank you for letting me share, and I look forward to maybe hearing some of your learnings as you step into the unknown and explore the other. Thank you.